Hello, all my Taurian friends. This is Maxine Taylor, and I have your forecast right here. Um, it looks quite lovely. Let me share it with you, starting with Mercury going retrograde. You might say, what's lovely about Mercury retrograde? Well, it's the rest of the chart I'm talking about. When Mercury goes retrograde, everything dealing with communication, correspondence, and transportation goes kerflooey. So we don't start any new projects on a retro Mercury. It will go retrograde on the 21st. However, it will enter the shadow of the retrograde on April the 7th. And that means starting around the 7th, it's going to feel like Mercury's retrograde. It's not, but it feels that way. So what you're going to do during this time is tie up the loose ends of unfinished projects. Now, Mercury won't go direct until May. So it's going to be something that we deal with, as you know, and we'll talk about it in May. So when things start getting crazy and you're having to redo them and you say something to someone and they don't understand what you're saying, anything along those lines, just laugh it off and say, Mercury, because that will probably be what it is. So let's take a look at your beautiful chart. First of all, just before your birthday, the sun is in your solar 12th house. It's a preparatory time. It's a pulling back. It's giving yourself a lot of time to prepare for the sun's entrance into Taurus. On the 20th, the sun moves into your first house, and you're saying, happy birthday to me. And you're doing things your way. When the sun is in your 12th house, you want a lot of solitude and privacy. When it hits your first house, you're doing what you want, when you want, how you want, because you want. I love it. Okay, Mercury is also in your 12th house. And that's what Mercury is what we think about and talk about. But the 12th house is the subconscious. And so you may be kind of dreamy instead of clicking along, rapid fire. Don't you worry. On the 3rd, Mercury moves into your first house and you're sharing your ideas. You're thinking about yourself and you're saying, I'm doing what I want, when I want, how I want. Do it. Absolutely. Now, Jupiter, the greater benefic, which expands and blesses wherever it is in your 12th house. This is a wonderful time to get away from it all. Go on a vacation. I remember with Mercury retrograde, cross every T and dot every I, because it's too easy to misplace your ticket, your passport, etc., or your flight. You don't want to do that. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and it blesses you by giving you a great deal of peace and happiness on your own. And it's going to be there all month, which is super terrific. Now, Venus, the pink planet, the planet of love and beauty, which rules you, it rules Taurus, has been in your first house. And so you have been feeling very loving about you. I mean, when Venus is in your first house, it's time to fall in love with yourself and it's time to adorn yourself. It's time to beautify yourself. Now, you're not going to start any new projects with your body, like getting purple in your hair, or any change with Mercury retrograde. You can do it on the shadow, but not the retrograde, and it will go retrograde on the 21st. So Venus says, I really like me. And that is a magnet that has people coming to you who like you. Is that not great? On the 11th, Venus moves into the second house. That is your zodiac house. That is where Taurus rules the second house in the natural zodiac. And Venus rules love. It rules tangible gifts. It rules money. Okay, we can stop right here because it's terrific. However, I do want to talk about Mars. Mars comes first to us. It's number one. It's in your third house of communication, correspondence, and transportation. Be prepared for an impulsive trip, short trip. It could happen, and it would be a great addition to the 12th house that says get away from it all. You're also sharing your ideas very, very directly, and you may find yourself acting rather well with great determination when it comes to expressing your ideas. Go for it. Okay. On the 6th, we have a full moon, and that's when things come to a head. The full moon is in your 6th house of work, health, and service. Are you thinking of changing jobs? You could do that because Mercury is not retrograde. Are you working on a project at work, or are you taking care of your health? The projects can come to a head on this full moon. The full moon is in 16 Libra. Find that in your birth chart and combine it with your solar chart. And then on the new moon, which is the 20th, we have an eclipse. And this is a very powerful solar eclipse that is right at the cusp of Aries and Taurus. It sits on your ascendant. Whenever we have an eclipse, we feel it at least a week before it occurs. And until the next pair of eclipses come along, we'll have an eclipse in May, and that will be the pair. This eclipse and the May eclipse. Eclipses are strongest 3 to 4 months after they occur. So count on your fingers and toes, and you'll know when you're going to be feeling very strongly about yourself, doing what you want, when you want, how you want, because you want. It's super. Now, everybody is going to be feeling some phase in some way, in some manifestation, the eclipse. For you, it's right on your ascendant, which rules your body, your physical appearance. So, yes, Mercury is practically retrograde. So we have a new moon, which is when the energy begins, which is an eclipse, very powerful solar eclipse. My suggestion would be wait until 3 to 4 months from now to make any physical changes. And that way, you make sure Mercury is not retrograde at that time. And that way, your change will be positive and lasting. So, beautiful forecast. I hope you have a marvelous birthday. And until we meet again, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours. Bye for now.